Thank you so much for choosing to watch this demo video of communication. We are very excited that you have decided to pick communication as your preferred customer communication channel. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire software step by step so that you can look how powerful our system is and how rapidly we are building up the software and how you can get started in less than 30 minutes of the whole software from the time you register till the time you set up everything inside communication. So as soon as you complete your registration, you would be greeted with this onboarding screen. Now let's walk through this onboarding screen very quickly. As soon as you click on next, you would be seeing that you have an option to upload your image, or you have an option to pick your theme. You can select any one of the themes that you want. As soon as you have done that, you can click continue, and now you have the option to either invite your team right away, or you can just proceed as yourself for now and invite your team members later on. In this demo, we would go ahead as it's just me. Once that is done, now this is very important. The system will ask you to add your workspace name. Now, don't worry if you don't have a workspace name yet. You can always go down the road and change it from the workspace settings in the future. In this case, I'm going to simply name it Lil SaaS Demo, and then I have the option to select my time zone. By default, our system selects the default time zone based on your browser. Now, once that is done, your workspace is all set up. Now, let's set up your inbox very quickly and let's name your inbox. So what we have seen is about 95% of our users usually set up their support shared inbox as their first preferred shared inbox. So I'm just going to name it support. Then right away, as you can see over here, that we have created a default email address for you, which is going to be your shared inbox email. We will show you down the road how you can make it custom, or if you just want to do it custom in the onboarding, you can. But in this demo, to begin with, we're going to be using the default email address. And this default email address of ours is connected with Amazon SES. So we are using top of the line services and top of the line backend infrastructure to ensure the deliverability of each and every emails that are being sent out from our system. Now, once we have selected that your email, your shared inbox email is already set up, now it's time to select whether you want to set up your knowledge base right now in the onboarding or not. During this onboarding, we'll skip it for now. Then you have the option to set up your support widget during the onboarding itself. Again, during the demo, I'm going to skip on it so that we can walk through it in very in-depth. Now, as soon as that's done, your onboarding process is all completed. It took just 20 to 25 seconds at the very most for the whole onboarding to be completed, and you can get started with it right away. Fantastic. Now that you have completed the onboarding, it's time to set up your custom domain. So right away, what we will do next is click on the menu. We would then click on inbox setting. We would head to sending setup, and then you will simply type in your custom email address and just click on confirm email button. As soon as that is done, you would see that we send out an email to you to confirm that you actually own that particular email address. Once that is done, you're all set. Now we will then head back over here, and as you can see that now your custom domain has been completely set up. Great. Now that you have just verified your custom email address, what we're going to do next is add the SMTP settings over here, which is very critical. So in this case, since we are using Gmail, we have a direct integration done where you don't have to enter any other details except for your Gmail. So I'm gonna enter our details, and once this is done, I'm just gonna click next. And right away over here, as you can see that we have met with password not accepted issue. Now the next steps are extremely crucial to ensure that the Gmail's integration works very fluidly. This might not be the case with any other services, so you might skip on these steps if you're not using G Suite or Gmail by any chance. So if you're using G Suite, then the next step that you have to do is log into your account and go to myaccount.google.com and head to security. Once you have done that, you would see that by default the less secure apps is on. So click on it. It will ask you to re-log in again. Now, as soon as you have done that, all you have to do is switch it on. Now, once this is completed, we head to the second step, which is again very crucial in order for you to use SMTP. If you are using G Suite, log into the admin of your G Suite account, and as soon as you log in, you would be seeing a screen like this. Now, simply type in SMTP over here and head to Allow per User Outbound Gateway. Now, once you click on that, you have to click on this setting and ensure that you allow users to send mail through an external SMTP server when configuring a from address hosted outside of your email domain. So just make sure that you have switched it on. As soon as that is done, we will head back. We'll set up our SMTP once again. And there you go. The integration is now all set up, and as you can see, it now shows Gmail SMTP has been edited, and once you see the screen, you have successfully integrated Gmail or G Suite with your communication account. Now that you have already set up your custom email address, it's time to set up your first knowledge base. In order to do that, click on menu, then click on knowledge base, and now you have an option to set up your knowledge base. We will just name it demo for this demo purpose. Next, we will simply head to settings, and you will see that there are a bunch of options available, but at the same time it says deploying. The reason why it says deploying is because we create a real-time static HTML knowledge base for you for two major reasons. First, we focus on speed very aggressively, and static HTML helps us to provide that speed for you. And second is for security purposes. So in this case, right away, as you can see, now that this has been deployed, what we'll do next is set up our custom domain. In order to do that, simply enable this button. Now copy this IP address, and you have to set up an A record with your DNS provider. In this case, we are using Cloudflare. So if you are a user who uses Cloudflare, then you can simply follow the steps, which is click on A record, then type in your subdomain, whatever you want the subdomain to be, along with pointing that particular IP address that we have stated in your dashboard, and make sure that you switch it off. As soon as that is done, just hit the save button, and your entry should look something like this. Now, once that is done, we'll come back over here and we will type in that same domain name that we have it over here, and we will click on save. Once that is done, now you will see that we have started the installation process. We have started the deploying process. This whole process can take up to 1 minute. So you will just have to have a bit of patience, a bit of time in order to fully set up your knowledge. Now that the SSL has been installed and the migration has been fully completed by Cloudflare, we can see that right away you would see an SSL sign, which is very secure, and you will see something that says no content yet. That's because we are now going to add our first piece of content. What we're going to do first is add a category over here, and we'll call it billing, and we will write our first article inside billing, and we will call it how to make your purchase. Now, as you can see, our URLs are very SEO friendly, so you can change your slug to whatever keywords that you want, or you can just keep it to default. That's completely under your control. Now, as soon as you do that, you can select your author. You can again change your title, you can change your slug. You have everything under your hand, and you can write your first piece of article or content over here. To make your purchase, head to the billing or pricing page and select your plan. Now, as soon as you have selected that, if you want to add any sort of URL or want to change any sort of formatting, just select that particular piece of word or line, and then you would see these formatting options. So I will simply add in our URL very quickly. Once that is done, just hit the save button, and then you will also see that we have these custom widgets being built up right from grounds. So in the future, we plan to add more and more widgets as per your request or your demand. So if you have any request, feel free to reach out to us. We are a 100% user-centric platform. We have built communication out of our own frustration because there was no platform out there that was really building the features it's depending upon and based on the user feedback. So we want to change that, and we want your feedback in order to ensure that you can save all the time in the world. So in this case, what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to select a GIF. So let's see, we got some nice funny GIFs over here. So I'm just going to select this GIF just for this demo purpose. Again, if you want to change any sort of formatting or any sort of alignment, you can quickly do that by selecting any sort of alignment. So in this case, I'm just going to keep it middle assigned, and I'm simply going to hit the publish button. Now, there is one more amazing feature that we have is in case if you want to revert back to any of your previous snapshots, you have that option. This is very handy because we're all humans. Many times we make mistakes. So having a system taking care of this for you can be very handy. So we have that snapshot option available for you, and we'll head back over here. You would see that it's again deploying. So every time you push and publish any content, it would take anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds for our system to regenerate everything into static HTML and produce it in front of you. So this is a one-time thing, but you will see that right away we have our first bit of content, we have everything ready for you, and we have the categories built out, we have the article ready for you, the GIF flow is absolutely perfect, we have the header, we have everything. Now, there are a couple of great things about our knowledge base that really separates us. First is again, as I had mentioned earlier, speed. So as you can see, the loading speed is phenomenal. That is again because it's static HTML, and the technologies that we are using behind the scene to produce those static HTML in real time has helped us to produce this speed. Second is security. Since it's HTML, it's very secure. What we have done is we have turned each and every piece of word that you have written into a search by itself. So if I type how, you would see that it searches for the headline, it searches for the slug right away. If I search for billing, you would again see that since it's in slug, it shows up right away along with the content. If I search for pricing, it again shows up. If I select demo, there is nothing because there is no demo word over here. So our search is instant, and trust me, based on our statistics, we have seen that our customers who are using communication right now and using the knowledge base feature, their customers are giving them great feedback because of the speed factor. So speed is very important. We are living in 2021, and speed has to be the number one factor throughout the platform at every single aspect. So this is how you can set up your knowledge base and get going with your knowledge base. And apart from that, you can also add filters. You can see you can filter things out based on published, non-published. The authors, you can select the authors, or you can even do a permutation combination. So anyone who has published by the author name with it. Now this is again where we really excel ourselves as compared to any other company, because we have again focused on this permutation and combination because we want you to make these decisions, and we want to give you all the filtering options to make it extremely easy for you. Now we can head back to settings, and this is where you have the option to change your entire theme or all the coloring, whatever you want. So in this case, I'm just gonna switch to violet as default. Again, I'm gonna hit the save button, and right away over here you would see that it takes just a little time to redeploy because it's again regenerating the entire static HTML. It takes about a few seconds every time you publish, so you can make all your changes and you can hit the publish button after that, so that then it goes into the deploying mode. We just wait for a few seconds before we can check it out, and there you go. Now the everything has been deployed. We'll hit the refresh button, and boom, all the pricing, all the coloring, everything has changed instantly. Again, our focus is making sure that everything is super simple, everything is easy. These are things that we have focused upon. Now you can completely create your own brand designs, colors, whatever you want, and then you can also add custom codes over here, which we will just look into it very shortly. So this is how you can set up your entire knowledge base in less than 5 minutes. Great, now that you have set up and completed your knowledge base, it's time to set up your widget. So simply head to menu, click on widget, and this is where we will set up our first widget. Now this is the beauty about our system. We let you select where all your conversation from that particular chat would go to. This means we are multi-domain, we are multi-shared inbox. So now you can customize your entire system the way you want. So imagine if you have set up a landing page and you have a sales shared inbox set up within your sales team. Now you can simply set up a widget and use that particular widget on your sales page or on your landing page and direct all those conversations directly to your sales team right away. That's how powerful our widget is, and this is one of the core features why a lot of users are really moving to us, is because segmentation saves so much time and we have focused on all of those aspects. So in this case we'll simply set up support, and as soon as this is done, you would see that you have been greeted with few settings. You can select your knowledge base, so I'll just select demo in this case. You can select your inbox. You can always change the shared inbox to wherever you want. We'll keep the position. You have an amazing option to set up an auto reply to your users. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to type in hello, grab one of these smart variables, customer name, copy, come back over here, type in hello, thank you so much for reaching out to us. Our team will get back to you in 1 business day. Here is your ticket ID for your reference. I'm going to head back to my smart variables again. Now I need the thread number in this case. I'm going to again copy it. I'm going to head back and I'm simply going to paste my thread number and I'm just going to make it bold. Now once this is done, I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit the save button very quickly. Now once this is done, your auto reply is set up as well. Now you can go to translation, and depending upon where you are located, we have already done a lot of translational work for you for your widget. In this case I'm just going to keep it default to English, but you can change it to whatever you want. Down the road we do have plans to make it automated as well. Depending upon where your users are coming in, the language would just change automatically. So this is currently in our roadmap of 2021. Now once this is done, just click and copy this piece of code. Now what we're going to do is, we had created a knowledge base earlier, so we're going to simply head to that knowledge base and add in our custom code over here for this demo. Now you can copy this code wherever you want, on your website or on your landing page, wherever you want, wherever you have the possibility to enter your JavaScript file, the widget would start loading right away. So as you can see, as soon as we have pasted this, now it is going into the deploying mode. Once again, we'll just wait for again a few seconds for the deployment to be completed. Meanwhile, we'll quickly head back. We'll head back to the widgets and just quickly walk through the quick settings over here once again, and that we have all sorts of coloring options for your widget as well. So you can again get your brand color and just put in your hex code over here for your brand color, and right away it would select that particular color. So earlier we had selected violet as our preferred branding color, so I'm just going to select the same over here and I'm going to quickly hit the save button. I'm going to quickly go back and now see whether our knowledge base has been deployed, and it looks like yes, it has just been deployed, so we're just on time. I'm going to hit the refresh button very quickly, and there you go, we have our widget popping up right away over here. So now if you see over here, it says support. If you want to change this, you can go back to your widgets setting, click on the demo again, go to translation, and instead of support you can just call it help. Once done, just hit the save button. We'll come back over here again, or hit the refresh button and wait for the widget to load. Our widgets are asynchronous, so that means our widget would load at the very end after your entire website has been loaded, because our focus is to ensure that your user gets to see your website first and then sees the widget. And as you can see, we are now showing the word help over here. And what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to again type in billing, search, and right away we see the article that we had just created being showing over here. Everything is again speedy. We are focused on speed, we are focused on the UI, we are focused on the UX for you. Again, we are focused on every aspect to ensure that things are very smooth. Now, this is it with regards to the widget. Great. Now that you have already set up your widget, it's time to test out the newly installed live chat at the same time. So simply enter your name, your email address, and we'll simply type in hi. And you will see that the message, the auto reply that we had set up, shows up right away over here, and it also gives the user a custom thread ID which is unique to this particular thread only. This is really very important. It will help you to identify the query. Now I'll come back over here, and you can see that since I've already read the message, it shows up over here. I'm going to join the thread, but before replying, I'm going to tour you this entire dashboard that we have. So you have the option to remove this ticket right away from here. You have the option to close it. You also have the option to assign this particular ticket to one of your team members. We're going to shortly set up team members in this demo. Now, you also have the option to assign someone from here, and you can see all the sidebar options about your customer profile right away over here if he has sent out any of the previous emails or anything. Now, what we're going to do is, let's imagine that this particular lead that has just came in is a lead. In this case, I'm going to simply select color. I'm going to make it, let's say, yellow. I'm going to create a tag leads, and I'm going to simply assign this lead over here, and I'm going to close it. So you can see that having these tags can be really very helpful. Then next, you can see the ticket ID is over here, and you can drop in notes if you have team members, or if you had any piece of conversation with this particular client for anything, you can always drop a note. Hey, please ensure to offer 10% discount for this customer. We will add in the note, and as you can see right away, your note is added. What you can do is, if you haven't set up your canned reply yet, then what you can do is you can set up a canned reply. We know that about 50% potentially of our users would be asking the same question. So what I can do is I can simply write it as welcome, hello, thank you so much for contacting us. How can I help you out? I'm gonna save and use it. So as you can see right away, my message comes back over here, and if you see, my canned reply has been saved at the same time, and you can use the search query. So if you have hundreds of canned replies, you can just click on the search button, and you can search for that particular canned reply based on the content and based on the subject line. Now, the next thing that you can do is you can add in anyone in the CC or BCC. We would recommend you not to change the subject line, but you can change the subject line at any point of stage. You can change the CC, BCC. Once that is done, just hit the save button, and then you can use powerful workflow automation. We'll show the power of this very shortly. And we have a very handy and very cheeky feature that we had developed based on our user feedback, which is clear input. So if you're someone who is very lazy to everything and then delete it, you can just hit this button and it's gonna get deleted right away. So in this case, I'm just gonna head back and select this, and I'm gonna send a reply, and right away you might have heard a quick noise. You can see that a sound has been popped. This means that the user also hears that sound, and my profile picture shows up since I had that uploaded, and then the message shows up over here. We go back and we can see that the reply, the seen message is now being seen. Now we have quite a few options with regards to editor. You can use them. We have bold, italic. You can use strikeout. You can use any of these list ordering options, bullet options. You can attach an attachment over here, or you can even mention one of your team members. You can add a gift directly from here as well if you want. We have these options set up fully for you, making it extremely easy for you to use the system. Great. Now the next thing we will do is dive into some of the options with regards to the team management. So you can head to people, and then you can create your teams over here. So we would highly recommend you to set up your billing team, then set up your support team, set up your sales team, because these three are the most basic teams that you would be setting up. Now you can simply go ahead and invite your team members by just tapping in their email address. Once that is done, they would be inside your system once they accept your invitation. Now you can simply come on edit, and you would see that the names of those users would be available. You can simply switch them on. So this is very critical, just in case if you want to assign any of the tickets to your team, then your entire team gets the notification at that point of stage. So again, we have kept our team management very simple. We'll be adding some more advanced features in 2021 and moving forward. Now that you have your team set up, it's time to get into some of the core fundamental automations of communication and why you need to set it up right away even before getting started. We're going to dive into it right away. So head to the menu, then go to workspace settings, then right away you need to go to automation. Now what we will do is we will set up our first workflow automation, and we would call it billing refund, and we'll make it automatic. We'll enable it and we'll simply continue. If you have previous conversation and if you're setting up after you have enabled everything and you're using the system for quite some time, you can enable it and will detect all the previous conversations based on these workflow settings that you're about to set up, and will apply to all of them right away. In this case, what we are going to do is we're going to set up our first condition. So what is a condition? A condition is something where you're telling the system, if this, then take action. So now we are setting up the if. So here are the list of conditions that we provide you. Now based on these, you can set up unlimited conditions depending upon whatever your workflow automation is and however you want to do it. In this demo, we will set up our first workflow automation. So what we will do is we will simply say that, hey, conversation subject contains the word discount, or anywhere in the content of that entire conversation, if the word contains discount, in that case take an action. In this case, the action would be that I want to move them to a specific inbox. In this demo, since we have only one inbox, we will skip on this option, but what we'll rather do is we'll simply say assign it to a team member or a team or an individual member. So I'm going to simply assign it to myself over here, and in this case I have just completed setting up my automation. So I'm going to go back and quickly edit this, and I'm going to call it discount, since we are setting up a workflow automation for discount. Once this is done, I'll click on close, and now it's time for me to send out email. Now there is one critical step that we have to do, which is again very important for you to start receiving the email inside communication. Right now you can start sending out emails right away, but in order to receive these emails, what you have to do next is go to inbox setting, click on sending setup. Now simply copy this particular shared inbox email. Great. Now all you have to do is head back to your G Suite or Gmail account. Now click on settings, go to see all settings. Now click on forwarding, click on add forwarding address, and paste your shared inbox email address over here and click on next. Now let's just wait. We click on proceed. Now as soon as that is done, you will see that a confirmation email is now being sent out by Google to our shared inbox, and we have already received that right away. Over here, what we will do is we will simply copy this particular code. We would head back over here and we would just confirm all the forwarding options. Now we will enable the forwarding, and we will just keep a copy back over here as well, but at the same time we'll forward all the emails, and we'll click on the save button. Now that is done, now it's time to test out our newly deployed workflow automation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out an email to our demo account. So demo background, I'm looking for a discount. Hello, I am interested in communication and I am looking for a discount. So once this is done, I'm just going to correct any grammar and I'm going to quickly send out. Let's just wait for us to receive the email, and there you go. In less than 5 seconds the email was already received. Now the speed of how quickly we can get your email will purely depend upon your provider. So the faster your provider is sending out the email, the faster we would receive that email and will deploy over here. So this is something that's very critical. So as you can see over here that the email has been received over here, and also I have been assigned this particular email over here, and because I have got that notification, so I can quickly come and check over here, and right away you can see that we have cleared out all the HTML code or anything else. Also, other than that, you can also see that you can see the original email of this particular piece of email, where it was sent from. So you get the raw email at the same time. So this is how powerful the workflow automation is, and this is how fluently you can set up your entire system and get started with communication. So I hope you enjoyed this demo, and I hope that communication would be a great fit for your business. If you have any suggestion for us, feel free to write us on our widget, or just send out an email to us at support@littlesas.com. Or if you want to personally get in touch with me or have any question or want to set up a demo call, feel free to send me an email at udit@littlesas.com, and I would love to have you on board. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the other side.